So you're trying to get down to 6 to 8% body fat. And in today's video, I want to focus on exactly how you should eat to hit the lowest body fat percentage possible. Throughout the last 10 years, my body fat percentage has consistently remained low, and at certain points really low through the methods that I'm about to share with you today. First, I want to solidify in your head that when we're aiming to reduce body fat, the main way to do it is through diet. Weight training is still very important throughout a cut for you to maintain muscle mass and to keep your metabolism elevated while burning fat. However, for your body to actually lose and use stored body fat, working out takes a backseat to diet. Now, before I give you the exact way that you should be eating, let's first quickly talk about what 6 to 8% body fat looks like and what it actually means. There are a bunch of different ways to test out your body fat percentage, but one of the most accurate and the most recognized ways is through a DEXA scan. There are a bunch of people that have already posted YouTube videos in which they get their DEXA scan results. And I want to provide a side-by-side comparison so you can see how body fat percentages are, one, inaccurate, even on a DEXA scan, and two, they're kind of irrelevant. You'll see what I mean in this comparison. I'm going to compare Conor McGregor, a UFC fighter, to Greg Gallagher, a popular intermittent fasting advocate, to Jamie Alderton, who's a natural bodybuilder. All these guys got their DEXA scan results, and McGregor came up at 7%, Gallagher came up at 8.1%, and Alderton came up at 10.8%. If I were to line these guys' pictures up, I would assume that a competitive bodybuilder like Jamie Alderton would have the lowest body fat percentage out of all of them. And I would also assume that Conor McGregor would have the highest body fat percentage. These are just 3 examples, but there are tons of these examples in which even the more accurate DEXA scan doesn't seem very accurate at all. On top of that, many people are under the impression that the lower the body fat percentage, the more ripped and jacked you look. However, part of looking shredded is about how much muscle mass you have on your body and how you hold your overall body fat. There are people that truly are 7%, yet they look worse than someone that's 12% just because of the way that the fat is distributed across their body and how their muscles look. With all that said, I'm imagining that you're probably not going to get a DEXA scan. To track your body fat percentage, you're probably going to be using either calipers or bioelectrical impedance, both of which are considered a lot less accurate than a DEXA scan. So even though any one of these tests can be used and progress can be measured as long as you stick to the same testing methods, they are inaccurate. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to track via bioelectrical impedance and then a month later use the calipers. You got to stick to one test. But even though they can be used as a comparison to measure progress, the actual number that you get as your result doesn't really mean all that much in relation to your aesthetics. There are also many marketing campaigns aimed at convincing guys that unless their body fat percentage is in the low single digits, they have to buy a certain product to get there. However, something that you should know is that being at a low body fat percentage for a competition and maintaining it on a daily basis are 2 completely different things. Our bodies need a certain percentage of fat in order to be able to function. Women need about 13% body fat, and men need about 3%. This is considered your essential body fat that you need to survive. In addition to essential body fat, a body also needs stored fat. With stored fat taken into account, when overall body fat levels drop lower than 14% for women and 8% for men, health risks increase, including everything from your reproductive dysfunction to dehydration to starvation to loss of muscle tissue, premature osteoporosis, and to organ and nerve damage. So first of all, you should ask yourself why you want to be at such a low body fat percentage to begin with. And the second thing that you should do is recognize that maintaining such a low body fat percentage on a day-to-day basis is unrealistic, overrated, unhealthy, and completely unnecessary. Having said all of that, I now want to give you the proper dietary guidelines to help you achieve the best body fat percentage possible for your particular body. Which, in case you don't understand yet, that percentage can't be pinned down to a concrete numerical value. Okay, so to lower your body fat percentage, especially to really low levels, you're going to have to reduce your caloric intake by at least 20 to 25% under your daily maintenance calories. You can calculate your daily maintenance calories with a calorie calculator, and I've left a link in the description for one of these calculators. Once you have your fat loss calories calculated, you should split up your macronutrients in a way in which you have at least 30 to 40% of protein, because we want to make sure that we maintain as much muscle mass as possible while cutting. And then divide the leftover 60 to 70% between fats and carbs. I recommend keeping fats between 20 and 30% unless you're on a ketogenic plan. Also, I highly recommend that you weight train with heavy weight at least 2 to 3 times a week to maintain as much muscle as possible while cutting. By doing all this, you will definitely start losing fat. As you burn fat, your hunger will go up and your metabolism will slow down, which will definitely cause your fat loss to stall at some point. Since you're trying to get to a very low level of body fat, to continue losing fat, you'll probably have to make adjustments to your activity level and to your caloric intake multiple times throughout this fat loss process. When you get stuck, I recommend that you find a way to create a larger deficit by small increments, like only cutting away 150 calories at a time, mostly coming from carbs. And again, you can create that deficit by increasing your activity level or cutting your calories further. Depending on how much fat you have on your body, to get to really low levels, it can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks all the way up to 6 months to years. It's highly dependent on your starting point and your consistency. You will be hungry and it's going to be a struggle because your body will naturally fight you throughout this process because it's going to be thinking, oh shit, I'm starving. So expect this to be challenging. Remember to focus more on how you look and feel rather than the irrelevant number. And remember that staying at very low body fat percentage levels all the time is not practical. That's it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you guys out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave this video a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe to this channel to see more tips and tricks just like this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Pump it.